Hello, and welcome back to another Davis Does Weather live stream. Gosh, this is weird. I'm already messing things up, aren't I? Okay, let me go ahead and fix the weather alerts. We are here for the first time in the brand new Davis Does Weather studio on the brand new Davis Does Weather computer on the brand. Okay, in all seriousness, though, we are here for the first of many live streams that we'll be doing in this setup. I hope you guys like it. Again, we've kind of been, teasing this for a while now, but it's official. We're here. So I hope you guys are excited for the next several streams to come because this is going to be the series of Davis figuring out what the heck I need to do to optimize things in this room and also on this computer. So thank you all for tuning in. Right now, we are watching a tornado-warned storm in portions of North Texas. Now, this is a supercell that's been rotating for quite a while, actually, and it likely produced a brief tornado over the community of Darrozette. Now, there's no 100% confirmation of this. If we go over to the correlation coefficient, you'll notice that there was nothing too definitive, but there's a very good chance that we did at least briefly have something ongoing near the town. So, if you are included in this tornado warning, you need to make sure that you are seeking shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows and in an interior room. Not only is this supercell have the capabilities to produce a couple of brief tornadoes, but it's also producing damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour and large hail up to lime size. And previously, a neighboring QLCS that has been moving through this area that this supercell is connected to produced a damaging wind gust all the way up to 87 miles per hour along Highway 270 west of Slapout, Texas. So, again, some pretty potent thunderstorms tonight across portions of the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles and a lot of slop vection in southern Kansas. The threat for a brief strong tornado was in play today, actually, for portions of far southeast Colorado and southwest Kansas, but just a bunch of crap vection ruined any chance of that happening. Now, again, we're still watching for the potential of a brief tornado in the Oklahoma or Texas panhandles tonight. The expected peak time frame of intensity for this event was supposed to be like 5 to 6 p.m., and storms were just in a terrible, terrible mode. Again, they were all either clustery or they were QLCS-like, but we're now starting to see something that actually resembles, tornadic supercells. So again, we do actually have Storm Chaser Freddie McKinney on this right now, and he actually did intercept a brief tornado earlier today in southern Kansas, and again, they are on this tornado-warned storm right now, also getting smacked by some of that lime-sized hail. So, again, if you are out here in this area, make sure you are seeking shelter on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows and in an interior room. Obviously, if you have like a storm shelter or a basement to get into, that would be the preferable thing to do, but again, your next best bet would be to get into the middle of your house on the lowest floor. So, I'm going to go ahead and pull up Stream Chat. If anybody has any questions about their location, make sure to leave those down below. I appreciate all y'all for tuning in. We've already got a ton of viewers here. If it would let me pull my thing up, that would be just spectacular. So again, how's it going, you guys? What's up, Sam, with this $7 dono? W. Sam's down below in the chat. Keep it up, Davis. You're the best. Thank you so much, bro, for always being there, part of the community. W. Sam's down below in the chat for this $7 dono. Thank you so much, my boy. You'll notice just below my head there it says total raised. In this live stream, in the first several live streams that we're going to be doing on this channel, we're going to be donating 50% of all profits that we make back over to the Y'all Squad, a 401k nonprofit organization that helps clean up after storm sweep through areas. So again, 50% of all donations, and then obviously YouTube takes like a 40% tax. So unfortunately, that equates to like a $3 donation, but I really do appreciate that. Probably closer to like a $1 or $2 donation. I think it's probably best to put the number up here now and then subtract at the end of the stream and then figure out what's going on, because ideally what I'd like to do is add all the numbers up and then at the end of the month compile them all together and do the donation, then kind of take things one step at a time. But again, I really do appreciate the donation, and again, 50% of all donations will go back to Yell Squad. Sam, with the 2 more $1 donations, W. Sam down below in the chat. My goodness, dude. Throw some W's in the chat for Sam. The GOAT. He's back again, bro. Thank you so much, Sam, for all the donos. You don't have to do that, my dude, but I really do appreciate that. And Mr. Twister with the $2 donation. W. Y'all Squad, we need to chase and Twisted. Low-key, if you hit me up and I'm not, like, ridiculously tired after the stream, we can play again. I don't want to make any guarantees because I have been doing a lot of work today setting things up, practicing driving. in real life with a driving instructor and more. But if you hit me up and I'm not like dead tired after the stream, I will play some Twisted with you, my dude. So something crazy actually just happened here. Freddy's windshield just got cooked. Again, he is in the thick of this monster hailstorm here. Again, this is our storm that does have a tornado warning right now in the Texas Panhandle. Oh my goodness. Sam with another $2 dono. W, Mr. Twisters. W, Sams. Thank you so much, guys, for all the donations. That is incredible. W Sam below in the chat for another $2 donation. My dude is incredible. Thank you so much, Sam. And again, we're going to make sure that a lot of that money goes back to a good cause. Now, I'd like to bring your attention to something. Storm Under Me. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Roman, we're going to get to your donation in a second. What the heck is going on Storm Under Media's live feed? They are actually not chasing this Texas Panhandle Supercell. They are in Oklahoma right now. They are watching something very interesting happen. We have either... I mean, this has to be an ongoing tornado, right? There's no way that that's good.
Hey, hold on.
What is this?
Hey, there's a lot of rotation right in front of us. See it?
Is that underneath this?
What is this?
There's a lot of rotation right there, actually. See that?
Yeah, this has to be an ongoing tornado, right?
That's dust. Dude, we could catch a quick tornado here, like a spin up.
What is this, bro?
I don't know what those clouds are doing there.
I've never seen any sort of scud like that before, but there you go. By the way, can you guys hear the chaser feeds right now? Let me know if you can, and I'll try and mute them. Ideally, I don't want that to be the case, because then you can't hardly hear me. But anyway... Roman, thank you so much, my dude, for the $10 dono. W, Roman's in the chat. Thank you so much for your generous donation. Dude, you're a goat as well, bro. You already know. Thank you so much for the $10 dono. Again, Storm Under Media has some interesting scuddy activity going on here. They are actually on technically the storm that was tornado warned. It's no longer tornado warned, but they are technically on it. They're on the neighboring QLCS that we mentioned earlier. Again,
there's rotation there.
A lot of dust being kicked up. Very interesting situation ongoing here. Again, not confirmed or anything that this is a tornado, but at the very least, a lot of scuddy, rotating clouds. It's a very interesting situation. Again, this is no longer technically tornado warned, but I would remain on the side of caution here, as this is warned for lime-sized hail and damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour, and there are still a couple areas of strong rotation. So if you're out here in south of Daruzet near Follett, or anywhere along the Texas-Oklahoma state line near Shattuck, along Highway 213, I'd be getting to my safe spot. Sam, with another freaking $2 dono. I won't stop. Sam, bro. Sam, you're a goat. W Sams down below in the chat. Thank you so much. We've got 60 people watching right now. If you are new here, make sure to like and subscribe. Share this stream with a friend. We do this every day for areas all across the country. Again, not every day recently, because it's been moving day the past couple of nights, but we are back here once again, and I'm glad to be back. Again, I thank God for this community every day. Thank you all so much for all the generous donations and such. Again, 50% of all proceeds will go back to the Y'all Squad at the end of the month. So, watch this. This is going to be magic. Now that we're no longer on a tour warning, unfortunately, I can't hardly reach it from here because the signal is so horrible with this LED light controller. But watch this, chat. This is epic. Woo! It's like you've never seen LEDs before. Now we're on a severe thunderstorm warning, and it's orange. It doesn't really look orange because the lighting's crap, but it's orange. Trust me. So, again, thank you guys so much for all the generous donos and such. Again, still an impressive area rotation here southwest of Follett, Texas, along Highway 305. Again, Freddie McKinney on this right now. Sam, you gotta stop, dude. I appreciate it, but I don't want you to spend all your money. Sam, with another $1.69 donation, of course. W Sam's in the chat. I have to keep exiting the radar here just to update the dono board. Sam, with another $1.69, bro, you are a goat. Thank you so much for the $1.69, of course. Thank you so much, dude, but again, stop. You don't need to give away all your money. Thank you so much, though, dude. I really do appreciate that. And again, 50% of proceeds go back to charity. So again, Storm Under Media doesn't have necessarily any ongoing tornado or anything, but very, very interesting looking SLCs all around. Again, Got a very impressive scud cloud here with a lot of rising dust, and that creates an illusion there that almost makes that look like an ongoing tornado. Again, I don't think it is, but it's pretty close. Okay, it's not pretty close. I shouldn't say something like that, but you understand what I mean. A lot of scud. It's a very interesting situation. I will note there is a pocket of rotation embedded in our QLCS just north of Shattuck, and that could be potentially what we're looking at here, but I'm not certain that that's the case. Again, it's definitely not an ongoing tornado. It's a scud cloud with a bunch of rising dust underneath of it. Again, scud stands for scattered cumulus under deck. But it's a very, very interesting scud cloud. Again, all that warm rising air. It's also worth noting that this storm is very heavily electrified, which isn't always, but sometimes is a sign of intensification. So if you're in this area, again, I would remain on the side of caution and stay on my safe spot. Again, we do have multiple views of this thing. Freddy right now, he is right punching through this hail core. Again, his windshield just got shattered pretty badly. So if you are out here, make sure that you are at least staying indoors and away from windows. Again, some nasty hailstones out here. And this is continuing to grow in intensity in terms of the pocket of rotation that we're watching just north of Shattuck. Again, it's not certain, but there is the very real potential that this little guy on the left here, that could be some sort of developing funnel cloud. It's so iffy, though, and there's so much scud intermingled into this. I'm just not certain. So, again, I'm not too sure. It very well could be a funnel cloud, but as of right now, we don't have any confirmation of that. But that doesn't mean you should take this any less seriously. We don't have ground circulation, but there's a lot of dust being kicked up. It's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Again, very rare and weird scenario where we've got this area of scud lining up with our rotation on the radar signatures. William, how's it going? The goat is back. And then we've also got, again, this amazing view here of all these lowering scud clouds. And again, especially this on the right here. I mean, that is one of the scariest looking clouds you will ever see, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there's any sort of rotation. Now, there is rotation, but that's not what's indicating it. That is just simply a mesoscale feature with this storm here. This is not, a sign of any ongoing rotation that close to the surface. This is again, a very interesting situation where we've just got all these SLCs that line up with our velocities. We've got a lot of hail contamination. We're kind of far from radar. It's going to be hard to tell the difference between a tornado and a heavily lowered scud cloud with dust rising beneath it. That's what I'm trying to say. I did say it in a very long way, but you get the point. Again, very, very interesting situation. Again, the National Weather Service has this currently warned for lime-sized hail and damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour. So if you are in this area, you do need to make sure that you are, at the very least, staying indoors and away from windows. Again, I wouldn't worry about any of these storms up here in southern Kansas at this point. This is all a bunch of slop-vection. Now, it's not impossible that one of these does briefly produce some large hail or damaging wind gusts, but any sort of tornado threat's kind of out the window at this point, as our instability doesn't really rise that far north anymore, and also the storm mode is just kind of crap. But again, these storms a little bit further south here in the Oklahoma and Texas panhandles are just a tad bit more interesting. So we'll see what happens with those. Again, I appreciate all you guys for joining me tonight. Again, I am very excited to announce that everything's set up. Now, obviously, we're going to have some tweaks over time because the lighting at night is garbage. During the day, it's fine. Right now, it is garbage. And that needs to be fixed. We can't have half my face dark in every stream for the next 10 years. We will be fixing that. And I would just turn my computer around and have it face that way and sit over there. But then the LED lights aren't over there. So, again, I'm going to have to make some changes in this room. And hopefully they will be changes that can be made relatively quickly for your guys' convenience. So, anyways, how's it going, chat? Again, I'm glad to see y'all back here once again. Again, thank y'all for the generous donations. 50% of donos today, and probably for the next few streams as well, I'd imagine. We'll go back to the y'all squad. Give me just a second. Gonna go and write out a little chat message. Give me just a second here, chat. All right. So, here we go. Again, we are watching what was previously a tornado warning storm in the Texas Panhandle, now south of the town of Follett. We do have a area of rotation. Again, it's not nearly as impressive as it looks, very hail contaminated. But we've had several of these little broad areas of circulation kick up, and again, a lot of SLCs, a lot of large hail, and a lot of different features that make it very hard to tell the difference between lowering scud clouds, rotation, all these different things. For this instance, again, this is obviously all scud. There was something that maybe briefly resembled some sort of lowering, but from what we know, these are all just rotating scud clouds that are more scary than they are dangerous. So, again, we'll continue to watch these storms. I'd also like to note we do have a developing line of thunderstorms back into portions of the central Texas Panhandle, extending from Perryton all the way back down towards Borger. This is going to be moving off to the east-southeast. Now, there is a good chance that these QLCSs do end up, so to speak, attaching and becoming one big old line of storms, and that could potentially promote a widespread damaging wind threat for sections of west-central Oklahoma in the overnight hours. Potentially damaging winds 60 to 70 mile an hour can't be ruled out, but again, any sort of tornado threat would be limited, as this is going to be a bad storm mode for that kind of potential. You're also not going to have nearly as much instability at 1 a.m. Now, I will say the instability is not going to be terrible, but again, it's definitely not going to be enough to promote any sort of significant tornado threat. And then also, again, your storm mode's just going to be garbage. So the tornado threat will be heavily limited over the overnight hours here. I really think that tornado warning that we saw was probably the last one of the day while that QLCS remained relatively discreet and not entirely, or while that supercell remained relatively discreet, not the QLCS, and while that supercell was not entirely embedded in the QLCS. And again, at this point it is, and there is a good chance that our tornado threat is over for the night. Now, again, I'm not going to guarantee that. It's not 100%, but it is very likely. Again, I'm a little bit interested in whatever we had happen near Darrozet. Again, a more impressive area of velocities back there. Now, again, this is partially hail contaminated, but it's still somewhat concerning to see your velocities look like that, even though we are far away from radar, and this is a high radar beam. Those are pretty impressive. Now, again, people are going to argue, oh, this is a correlation coefficient drop indicative of debris. No, it's not. A lot of hail contamination and other, again, side lobe contamination. You've got all sorts of different contamination. Pretty much every kind of contamination you can name. What did I just do? I just opened the Oxford Dictionary. Well, chat, I hope you guys are ready to learn about some words tonight. Word of the day. What's the word of the day, chat? In all seriousness, though, all sorts of hail contamination, side lobe contamination. It's hard to tell if we were to have a debris signature. Also, because we would be talking about a elevated radar beam, it would have to be a very strong tornado for us to see a debris signature this far away from the radar. What's the collab for? What's up, WX Clips? I'm not sure what collab you're referring to, but... So again, continuing to watch this clustery storm mode mainly produce a large hail and potential flash flooding threat across portions of southwest Kansas here over the next several hours. Again, taking a look at the storm total precipitation, you'll see a lot of these areas have already accumulated 3 to 4 inches of rain, specifically near the town of Greensburg, actually. Not a good name to hear, especially after recent events, but near the town of Greensburg, 4 to 4.5 inches of rain has managed to accumulate, and again, you've got more of those constant heavy thunderstorms occurring. I would not be shocked to see them issue a flash flood warning. Again, we already do have a flash flood warning in effect for portions of the Oklahoma Panhandle. Why do I keep opening the dictionary? That's not my intention. We do have a... I did it again. How am I doing that? Anyway, we do have a flash flood warning in effect for portions of the Oklahoma Panhandle here just northeast of the town of Beaver. Bro, what is going on? Why do I keep opening the dictionary? I don't want to do that. What is happening? Can somebody tell me what's going on here? Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to remove it from... This frustrates me. Again... Brand new to these controls. I thought I had everything set up the way that I liked it, but obviously not. Okay, now if I click here, is it going to bring me the dictionary? Why? 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 I know my word. I literally. I just got out of my freshman year. I don't want to learn more English, bro. I'm not even doing anything. I'm just clicking. I'm clicking and it brings me the dictionary. I don't want that. Here's what we're going to do. Force quit dictionary. There we go. You're done. No more dictionary for the day. I just click and it opens again. Okay. We're good. Oh my gosh. I'm not even clip farming. I'm not clip farming because WX Clips isn't here. This is just actually happening. I don't want to open the dictionary. Why would you make me open the dictionary? It's whenever I click down here. Okay, I think we're good. I don't want to worry about the dictionary. Nah, it's not a clip farm. Sam with the $2 donut, bro. I thought you was done. I thought you were done, bro. Thank you so much for the $2 donation. Y'all Squad, yes, sir. Again, 50% of donations at the end of the stream, or at the end of the month, will go to the Y'all Squad from the streams. I really do appreciate that, though. W. Sam's in the chat for the $2 dono. That's epic. Okay. Now, is this going to open the dictionary again? This is not a clip farm. It's not a clip farm. This is just actually happening. Your name's also Sam? Epic. Epic. I like people with the name Sam. Well, usually. That's not a reference to Sam WX. That's a reference to a different Sam. So a few people may or may not know. Verifying via multiple radars, we do still have some broad rotation here south of Follett, Oklahoma. Or Follett, Texas, rather. Again, Freddie McKinney on this storm right now. Again, just a lot of lowering scud clouds here. It's hard to tell what's what, but as of right now, there's no signs of any obvious ongoing circulation or lowerings. So we'll continue to watch this. Again, a lot of large hail contaminating the radar here, but we do have multiple radar sites now verifying that this is rotation. Again, you can look from the Dodge City, Kansas radar. You can look from the Amarillo radar. You can also look all the way from the Enid, Oklahoma radar. Yeah, you still got a rotation there. They did, by the way, just update this severe thunderstorm warning to being warned for tennis ball-sized hail. So again, if you're out here south of Follett, Oklahoma, or why do I keep saying Oklahoma? South of Follett, Texas, make sure you are moving indoors and as far away from windows as possible. If you have time, bring your car into the garage. Again, Freddie's already gotten slabbed by these massive hailstones here. Again, we have gotten permission to use this feed for this live stream. Same thing with SRM. And guys, it's a miracle. We can have multiple chasers up at once now. We did it. We did it. We got a computer that can run 2 live streams at once. What a miracle. We've been waiting for this for so long. Crime Crusader with the $10 dono. W Crime Crusader in the chat. Thank you so much, dude. That is epic. W Crime Crusader in the chat. Thank you so much for the $10 donation. Appreciate all you do, bro. Thank you so much. Again, 50% of all donos tonight go back to the Y'all Squad. So, thank you so much. That's epic. Crime Crusader. W's in the chat. Again, God bless, dude. Thank you so much for the $10 dono. Again, you guys are goated. It's been a few days since we streamed properly. I guess technically we did a stream last night, haha, but I'm glad to be back. And better than ever. Our setup is goated. And I didn't even notice this one, but I decided to check because I figured it was here. We got another dono from the GOAT. A $10 donation from William. W. William in the chat with a $10 donation through PayPal. Thank you so much, my dude. William is like William and Allen again, bro. They're the goats. So W. Williams in the chat. Thank you so much for the $10 donation. William is goated. W. Williams in the chat. Let's go. Again, in all seriousness, though, thank you so much, my dude. So again, Freddie on this area of circulation south of Follett. This is, again, not certain, but a good chance that this is trying to develop some lower level rotation. Potentially, we'll see some lowerings pop out of this here soon. All we've seen so far is scud clouds, and then a couple of rotating wall clouds as well. Again, it's a dangerous game to be in this position as a chaser, because look at all that hail falling right now. Look at that hail. See that rolling down the street, bouncing off the ground. These are some big boy hailstones, especially after he's gotten his windshield shattered once already. He is a brave man for doing that. So W Freddy's in the chat, even though he's not even here. Anyway. Do not open the dictionary. Okay, I did the same click that I was doing when it opened the dictionary, so I got a little worried for a second. In all seriousness, though, we do have another threat for severe weather tomorrow across portions of western and central Texas. If we go and take a look at our tornado probabilities, you'll notice that there is a double 2% risk in play, one of them going out for portions of the mid-Mississippi Valley, but the more impressive one, in my opinion, for any sort of brief tornado threat would be associated with the West Texas storm mode. Again, going back to the 0Z run of the HRRR here, you'll notice that we do actually have a few supercells, I don't know why I said it like that, but they develop in the early evening time hours across portions of central Texas. These are going to bring the greatest tornado threat, if any, on this night. Again, this will be anywhere from 5 to 9 p.m. would be the peak tornado threat. I think after 9 p.m. you're dealing with mainly a damaging wind threat here as a big old QLCS starts to develop. But again, I really don't think the environment's looking too bad for tomorrow. I mean, our Cape values are decent. They're not anything crazy, but they are pretty impressive, and they're more than enough to fuel severe thunderstorms and tornadoes. We're talking about 3,000 joules per kilogram of Cape across most of these areas here. Again, taking a look at our wind shear, the other main ingredient you're looking for the development of severe weather, even within just the first kilometer of the atmosphere, guys. We've got ourselves some wind shear, and if we go ahead and go out to the proper area, you'll notice that we got quite a bit of it again, about 30 knots of wind shear over the areas where the thunderstorms have developed in the first kilometer of the atmosphere, and if we go up to the first 6 kilometers of the atmosphere for our wind shear values, we get quite impressive. I mean, we're talking, 50, 60 knots of shear. So again, definitely a setup that is going to promote the threat for a couple of tornadoes, damaging wind gusts, large hail. I would not be shocked to see them at a 5% total risk. It all comes down to if mesoscale shenanigans are in place. Again, our mid-Mississippi Valley threat, I will say this does have a couple of cells firing in that region. The 0Z run of the HRRR does. It hasn't been entirely consistent on that, but I wouldn't rule out a brief tornado, especially across parts of northeast Arkansas and far southeast Missouri tomorrow, potentially in the Boot Hill. Again, the storm mode doesn't look super impressive, and also, I just almost flipped my phone over. I keep doing that. There's not a lot of space on this desk, guys. Our instability values don't look super impressive, but they're more than enough to fire off a couple of tornadoes, I'd say. I'd say that, again, 2,000 to 2,500 joules per kilogram of instability would be more than enough, and that's exactly what we've got going on in this environment here. Again, going back over to our wind shear values in the first 6 kilometers of the atmosphere, we're looking at about 40 to 50 knots, so not too terrible either. Our SRH values are obviously not going to be super impressive out here, but they're decent. Again, around 200 to 300, so more than enough to promote the threat for some at least brief damaging downburst winds and a couple of tornadoes. So again, going back out to the Day 1 Storm Prediction Center outlook here. Again, our slight risk of severe weather remains in play here from southeast Colorado back through central Oklahoma tonight, and a secondary slight risk across parts of central Texas. We haven't really talked a lot about this. The threat is dying out here. We've got one remaining supercell that has a severe thunderstorm running associated with it. This same supercell, just a couple of hours ago, actually was producing baseball-sized hail all the way up towards the city of San Saba, Texas. We also had some baseball-sized hailstones near Killeen earlier today. So again, big-time hail risk. But at this point, that's starting to die out as, again, our storms at this point don't have a whole lot of instability to play around with. Levi, the GOAT, welcome back. Again, continuing to watch these broad areas of circulation develop in our QLCS along the Texas-Oklahoma state line here near the Panhandle. Again, Storm Media has a lot of these, lowering scud clouds, these brief rotating wall clouds. It looks like they have, again, just those baby little scud clouds under that thunderstorm right now. I couldn't think of what it was called. But, again, no signs of any ongoing surface rotation. Freddie McKinney, again, getting some massive hailstones right now. Taking a look at the reflectivity, you'll notice how that correlates pretty well. Again, his windshield got cooked just a couple of minutes ago. But yeah. Again, whenever lapse rates are this steep, you're almost guaranteed to get your windshield shattered if you really want to chase out here in the Texas Panhandle. It's funny, at the beginning of his stream, he was talking about how he's finally out of Texas because he positioned all the way up in Kansas today, and then Kansas busted because of poor storm mode, and then he had to go down to Texas if he wanted to see anything. But Anyway. No, you cannot put your phone number in chat. Stop. Bad. Anyway. Just realized we may need to position the camera a little bit down here. You can't quite see my full ugly face. So again, this storm here is still warned for hail up to tennis ball size and damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour. Again, Freddy is currently getting absolutely cooked in terms of his windshield. He has already gotten it shattered a couple of times. If I were him, I'd be getting my butt out of here. I don't know what he's still doing in there, but... Oh yeah, I forgot you're in Michigan. Are you already in freaking Michigan, dude? Holy cow. That's crazy. He went from Tennessee to Michigan in just a few hours. Do have a couple of gusty thunder showers out here just south of Amarillo. Again, if these interact with that boundary, they could potentially intensify to severe limits. Again, currently warned for gusty winds up to 55 miles an hour. At this point, though, it looks like we're probably going to be done here pretty soon. Again, this was the first stream we've ever done in here. I'd say it was pretty successful. Again, I was going to go live earlier today, but then things heavily busted, and really the past few hours haven't been that much more impressive. We had like some broad rotation for a few minutes, and then things kind of died. You can see Aurora pillars in Maine right now. Yeah, Michigan's not too far of a stretch, then it's definitely possible, Pevy. I know you don't like Pettis, but the Levi Pettis lore runs deep. Kidding. Kidding, of course. Andrew Griffiths. This is pretty crazy. Am I supposed to know who Andrew is? I thought I recognized that name. I'm not going to lie. I looked it up on Twitter. I don't see anything. No offense, but... I'm supposed to know who he is. I swear I know that name. Davis brain fart. I follow you? Oh! Oh! Okay, now I feel dumb. Yes, I remember you now. I'm so sorry. I feel like such a jerk. I do know you, yes. Okay, I looked at your channel. I do remember you, yes. How's it going? I'm sorry it took me for that long to realize. Thank you, my dude. Again, that's awesome. I've been following you for like a long time now. I don't know how I forgot your name. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. That's my bad, bro. I did not mean to, I don't know. I don't know what I was gonna say, so I just won't say anything. But thank you so much for tuning in. It's hilarious. Go check the dude out. He's not too far away from the land of Davis, and he does some pretty epic storm chases. You were on Marion, right? Or were you not on Marion? I'm looking right now. You're not on Marion. I guess that's a few hour drive for you. I do know where Jacksonville is, yes, just west of Springfield. My voice cracks are so bad. I still love how Marion got rated EF4 190, and people are like, it should have been EF5. EF4 190, it was 1 DI. 1 DI, and I'm going to be honest, the DI didn't even really look like a 190 to me. I mean, I'm not going to say that it shouldn't have been, because I'm not a National Weather Service certified meteorologist, but I am a National Weather Service certified storm spotter. Doesn't really mean anything in terms of damage rating, but it did not look like an EF4 190 to me. But it just blows my mind how one EF4 190 DI can make people say, oh, it should have been EF5. There's legitimately nothing. No. If you think that Marion was an EF5, I'm sorry, but you need to leave the stream. I'm sorry. Did it have wind gusts over 200 miles an hour? Almost certainly. But is there damage to support that? Absolutely not. I will say, though, that was a big contender for Tornado of the Year. It was just the most unbelievable multi-vortex cone/briefly wedge that you will ever see in the state of Illinois. I mean, looks like freaking Tuscaloosa, Birmingham. Of course, for only 5 minutes, though. But, yeah. Still a pretty impressive area of circulation on the storm, the part of the QLCS that Freddy's on right now. Again, partially hail contaminated, obviously, but you can see a pretty clear couplet there, although weakening, I'll admit. Storm Chaser Brody. My great goodness, if only you knew the lore. Levi, if you're still in the stream, I want you to look at what Storm Chaser Brody just said. If only he knew the lore. If only he knew the lore. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Alright. Our cheese curds good. Mid. Overrated. They should be a lot better than they are, I'm going to be totally honest. I mean, they're fine. But considering they're just fried up balls of cheese, you'd think that they'd taste a lot better. They are pretty good. But again, I just expect them to be so much better. Now, Culver's cheese curds are actually fire. Those are actually goated. Again, I think we're done actually worrying about any sort of... I mean, again, we never really were watching anything with this other than lowering SLCs and scud clouds. Again, big old windshield smasher, but outside of that, not too intense. Again, big old hail spike there, still evident with the supercell detached from the QLCS moving through the Texas Panhandle right now. Raising Cane's is overhyped, yes, but it's good. But so overhyped, my gosh, yeah. It's fine. It's good. It gets like an 8 out of 10. I'm just not a huge chicken tender fan. So maybe I'm biased, but I've always thought that Cane's was kind of overhyped. Wingstop is ridiculously overhyped. Wingstop is not even good. Maybe I just went to a crap location. I went to one in like Metro Orlando. But, I mean, Wingstop was just terrible. Buffalo Wild Wings craps all over Wingstop. And I don't want to be told otherwise. Buffalo Wild Wings is kind of mid. My dad does better. Alright, bro. Alright. I want to meet your dad then. Your dad's got to make me some wings. It's not that far of a drive, my boy. Your dad's got to make me some wings, bro. Cane's is terrible. Chick-fil-A is overrated as heck as well. Culver's Clears In-N-Out? I've been to In-N-Out once, so I don't really have a strong opinion that I can say definitively on that. Perhaps, perhaps they're close to equal. Maybe Culver's is a little better, yeah. Alright, bro. You're making Levi turn on me. I don't even know what I said to upset him, but he says he's gonna fight me. Bro is simping for Andrew right now. At Andrew Griffith. I agree. Thank you, Andrew. You're the most Sigma. Bro is simping so hard. No, no. Chick-fil-A's not goated. Chick-fil-A's not goated. No. Davis, how's your girlfriend doing? She's not in chat. Listen. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I don't want to say anything because I don't know if she's watching or not. That's my comment for right now. I will say a spicy chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A does kind of hit. Hey, in terms of chicken, that's about as good as you get other than B-dubs. Wendy's is better than McDonald's? Nuggets, yes. Burger, no. Next take. Go to Dax Smokehouse. I've never heard of that in my entire life. It's in Morton. Never heard of Morton in my entire life. Where is that? Is that by Springfield? No, by Peoria. Oh, it's Dogs Allowed. Sweet. Hey, low-key do be looking good. If you ever go south of Champaign, there's a little spot in... It's either Arcola or Tuscola that serves up some fire freaking barbecue. Gosh, it's good. I may perhaps have to try that, though. Alright, what do you want us to do, bro? It's not, I mean... I don't think that we have anybody watching from the Texas Panhandle that cares about our one severe warning and then our hailers that have just absolutely died in Central Texas. Again, I think if storm mode was a little more impressive out here in southwest Kansas today, we definitely could have seen a couple more tornadoes. We saw a very brief one. And then that was about it. It was like a little baby suction board to see the touchdown for like 2.5 seconds. That was it. Again, I would not be surprised to see an overnight damaging wind threat across parts of northwest Oklahoma, so I think that probably at the next SBC update, which will be in about 3.5 hours, they'll leave the 15% wind threat. So the slate risk may continue on, but the 5% tour risk will be gone. Levi says it best. Say it with me, Levi. When there's no cap, the storm mode is crap. What do I think about day 3 for your... Okay, so I've been looking at this because I find it pretty interesting that they decided to go with a slate risk this large. I was looking at this the other day, pulled a couple of soundings on, I think it was the NAM. I thought, okay, that's pretty impressive, but I don't see anything in terms of a tornado threat that, like, wows me, the NAM on Raider Omega is not going to go far enough out, I don't think. Yeah, because 0Z still coming in. We'll go 18Z. But again, on Pivotal, you can look at the NAM that goes out to 84 hours. Is this? Yes, this is correct. Again, I don't see anything that screams, tornado threat. I think this is mostly going to be a damaging windbag, which is not too uncommon. I wouldn't rule out a couple of brief tornadoes, maybe down in the far southern portions of Georgia, where you're going to have that incredible instability. And then maybe a couple of discrete supercells according to the NAM model. The NAM doesn't always do so good at forecasting storm mode. So just be on the lookout. Again, damaging winds, maybe a brief tornado, some large hail. But, I mean, it's going to be, again, kind of just your typical, we have 58 severe warnings at once, but none of them are showing any sort of tornado threat with them. But those are my thoughts. You're in Central North Carolina. When's this? This is the day 3 outlooks. This would be May 30th. Again, HRRR doesn't quite reach out far enough yet. Because the 0Z run is still coming in. Or no, 0Z run, HRRR is done. Let's see what HRRR has to say. Okay, again, 0Z HRRR has perhaps a couple of discrete supercells down in the far southern portions of Georgia and the Florida Panhandle, but again, it really looks like the reason they're putting this slight risk out is because it's going to be, on the day 2, we're probably going to see that it's going to be driven by a 15% wind threat across parts of the Carolinas and maybe up into parts of Virginia. Again, I don't see any sort of major tornado threat with this. Again, if we actually look at our specific ingredients here, our instability is, again, going to be obviously extremely high in the Florida Panhandle. That's not really going to be too much of an issue. Again, here you go. You got, again, just unbelievable surface cape. Again, about 4,000 joules per kilogram there in the most extreme areas, but the general region of the Florida Panhandle will be anywhere between 3,000 and 3,500. Your wind shear is not going to be too terrible, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. I think your wind shear is kind of moderate. Okay, so it's actually a little bit higher than I thought. It's pretty impressive there in the portions of Appalachia, which makes sense. But, again, I keep saying again, it doesn't matter if you've got 2 million knots of wind shear. If we look at surface cape, again, I keep saying again, stop doing that. Gosh. Surface cape, really not that impressive. It's enough to potentially fire off a brief QLCS tornado, but I really think we're looking at mainly a damaging wind threat here. Again, it definitely, at least on the day 2 outlook, it'll not be 5% toward driving the slight risk. It'll be 15 wind. Maybe 15 hatch wind. Beginning an again counter. Am I going to make a Discord? Probably not. I've never really been a huge fan of Discord servers. I like using Discord to talk to people, not the biggest fan in general. Will Albany see anything Friday? It's hard to say just because obviously you're not going to know exactly where your QLCS / just big line of storms in general. You can't really call it a derecho because it's not going to track 400 miles, obviously, but your massive line of storms, we don't know how far east it's going to develop, so it could be potentially just a couple miles off to the east there. You don't see anything. But a few more miles west, you could be talking about severe limit winds because those storms are going to fire real quick whenever you're talking about that much shear. And again, perhaps a brief tornado threat that far south. I still generally think the main area with discrete activity would be off to your south of that. But I will say tomorrow looks like a pretty interesting Dixie day. Again, we get into late spring, early summer. I mean, it's pretty typical to see damaging windbags throughout the deep south Gulf Coast area. This will make some people mad. It's pretty typical to see something like this on the coast of the Gulf of America. Um, it's pretty typical to see something like that on the coast of the Gulf of America in late spring and early summer. Now we wait for the chat to roll in. Now okay. I'll be honest, chat. That it's not like that's a political statement or anything. That was just meant for rage bait. But I hmm, I don't know if I would call it Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America. Hmm. Probably just again. I've been trying to say just the Gulf for several months, and I've let it slip several times. I've been saying Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America. Nobody cares. I see a lot of people saying I don't care. That's exactly right. Tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la, shock with blue shoes. Slides through the sea like he's got nothing to lose. Ting 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 sahor, puffing real slow. Yeah, I don't care. Y'all can call it whatever you want. I just like rage baiting people, so. Well, yeah, I mean, and again, if you say Gulf of America, people say you're. Anyway, no, we're not going there tonight. We're not going there tonight. How'd you learn all this at only 15 is legal for you to be at your age? What? Whoa! Richard with the $10 dono. W. Richards in the chat. Thank you so much, Richard the Goat, back again. Richard's actually been here quite a few times recently. W. Richards down below. Thank you so much. W. Richards. Yeah, he just said it's illegal for me to be 15. Seriously though, Richard, thank you so much for the $10 dono. Again, 50% of all proceeds will be going back to the Y'all Squad. So I really do appreciate it. I am, again, this, if you're not aware, if you're brand new to the channel tonight, he said it's illegal for you to know this much at 15, something I get a lot too, so keep it up. You as well, my dude. Again, I've been doing this for probably 3 years now, probably 2 years on YouTube, and yet I just don't understand why. I guess maybe I'm mature for my age. I don't think I am, but I've been told that a lot. I really think I make quite a lot of low humor jokes, but anyway, I'm still getting used to this new computer for anybody wondering. Let's do something fun here, chat. Let's go to the damage assessment toolkit. And look, have they added the EF4DI for London yet? I don't think they have, but they might have. So let's see. Would you look at that? I haven't even looked yet, and I know. Oh, okay, never mind, I'm wrong. They added it. Obviously, it's been rated EF4 for a while, but the DIs have not been on damage assessment toolkit yet. So part of it is heavily treaty barking 166, obviously, but you also do have an EF4 once. Oh my gosh, Paige with the $10 donation. W Paige in the chat. Should I stay home on Friday in Central North Carolina? So you're going to be fine. It doesn't look like anything too intense, and even if it was, again, it would be a brief, considerable severe for damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour. It's going to be over in 20 minutes, because those storms are likely going to be moving so fast, and again, it is a situation where we've got one line of storms. One line, and you're done. One and done. Anyways, stay safe out there again. You will be fine, I promise you. Your DI... How is this all walls collapsed? Okay, that's how. So here is your, again, somewhat well-built structure, I'd imagine. Again, completely all walls collapsed, foundation swept clean. Again, EF4 170, rock foundation demolished. Interesting. So, again, 170 mile an hour DI there. A lot of people call this London, but I'll be honest, it looked a little bit stronger. Again, it was the tree mowing that was the most impressive part out of everything that I saw from the Somerset London damage, because everybody's like, there were slabbed homes in London. Those homes are like made out of mud, guys. I don't think you understand the construction level of homes from rural Kentucky. And that's not hating, I'm just pointing it out. I don't think you guys understand. Not, and this is going to make so many people mad. Just because a home is slabbed does not mean it was an EF5. It doesn't even mean it's an EF4 in all cases. But, again, devastating stuff, to say the least. Again, this was like the tree eater of all time, I'll be honest. But, anyway. I was kind of surprised that they added that. My gingerbread house was slab def EF7. Probably, yeah. Probably EF8, I'd say. I saw a lot of people freaking the heck out that it was Greensburg and Plevna that people really disliked just because they went Tory. People think that that is a damage indicator in of itself for some reason. The damage from both Greensburg and Plevna are not enough to support EF4 intensity, or Bremen for that matter. Nothing really too crazy. Again, I don't want to make it sound like I'm underplaying any of this, because this is awful and this ruins people's lives. And I don't ever want to make it sound like that's not the case. I don't want to ever make it sound like, you guys lost your lives, but it doesn't matter about that. What matters is what rating it gets. But I think it's very annoying that so many people will question the National Weather Service's entire authority just because they don't agree with one of their opinions. I disagree with their opinions. I don't straight up say the National Weather Service sucks. Defund them further than they already have been. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that. And people are like, they skipped homes. They didn't survey these homes. They didn't. Roman lives in southern Kansas. He will tell you. They did not skip homes. They did not just skip over homes and decide not to survey them. I'll tell you what was really impressive. Nobody at the time, while this was ongoing on radar, believed me. I said the tornado near Arnett was violent. Nobody believed me, bro. Nobody believed me. I'm always right. Nobody believed me. That's what I sound like sometimes. Seriously, though, nobody believed me, bro. But the Arnett, Oklahoma tornado, obviously one of the most photogenic tornadoes of the entire year. Very, very strong. Again, perhaps not violent, but would not shock me to see those DIs come in, and it's a high-end DF3. I don't remember what the exact wind tag is. But, again, Roman was on Arnett. Good for him, bro. Again, he lived in southern Kansas. The HRRR loves southern Kansas, and he decided to chase the Oklahoma Panhandle, and it paid off. So good for him. Good for frickin' him, dude. That's awesome. What's something else we could talk about? Not a lot. I do feel like the Michigan outbreak was kind of overlooked because of all of the tragedies that happened, obviously, in the Ohio Valley the next day with the May 16th outbreak. I don't think enough people were talking exactly about the full extent of the damage in Michigan, specifically the tornado near the town, what was it? I'll know it when I see it. Martin, Michigan. From what I saw, where's the damage indicator? I know it was somewhere on here. Was it this? No, these are just mobile home destructions. Maybe it wasn't on damage assessment toolkit, but I saw a photo of damage from Martin that made me think, how is this only EF1 damage? And it's not even like it's, high-end EF1. It's 95. Anyway. No, that was not Arnett. That was, what was the 1.68 mile wide one? It wasn't Arnett. It was Blanco, Oklahoma, which at the time didn't even seem like a super impressive one compared to everything else that was going on. So, that just goes to show It's not always the ones that look most impressive on radar that are actually the most devastating. Yes, sir, William. Yeah, we did our first actual true hurricane coverage season last year, and I'd say it went pretty well. I think the most intense moments were probably covering the Milton tornado outbreak. I also had a 102-degree fever, something stupid like that, and I still streamed for 4 hours that day total, I think. um, I think the hurricane streams were definitely fun to cover, though, and I'm glad that we were able to hopefully help some people out. I think the hurricane forecast videos are more useful than hurricane coverage streams. But yes, there is a tropical depression, but it's in the eastern Pacific, and it's going to Nowheresville. If you have any fish friends out here in the eastern Pacific, make sure to give them a call or text. Looks to be a pretty disturbing fish storm. Uh, Again, this is going to be one for the history books for all those fish out there. And yes, it makes its way to Baja California, but at that point it is going to be a localized flooding threat. But anyway, um, again, not a lot else to say. I will say, early June looks quite active. Again, I mean, you're not going to see it on GFS reflectivity, so I don't even know why I'm showing this, but early June looks quite active for the high plains. Also, the past couple runs in the GFS have been spitting out like a major hurricane in the Gulf, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, for late June. Was that just the 18Z? Or not late June, but mid-June? Maybe it was just the 18Z. But very exciting stuff. And, you know, GFS 384 hours out is the most accurate measurement of forecasting that you can get. I mean, it just is. There's no doubting it. So, there you go. Major hurricane incoming. 100%, dude. No joke. Totally. I'm trying to make it as obvious as possible that this is sarcasm, because there's going to be that one guy that doesn't get it. I will be in Iowa once, hopefully. Sweet. Yeah, I mean, these high plains late, or not late, but early June events usually do end up bringing some of the most intense straight line wind gusts of the entire year. And then obviously we've got to have our annual summertime Midwest derecho. I'm hoping that it's more focused towards central Illinois again. Obviously we're biased, but I did not really... I'm not gonna lie, the FOMO on July 15th killed me. It killed me. I will say, pretty unexpected tornado outbreak in the Chicago metro that night. By the way, Tornado Archive finally getting data for 2024 soon. Pretty exciting stuff. But the FOMO killed me on July 15th. Did you get anything on that day, Andrew? I think I remember you were... Let's see, do I remember what for Peoria? Peoria was definitely under destructive. It was around Peoria. There was a 102-mile-an-hour gust recorded. I think that was in somewhere like Marshall County. Maybe Putnam County. Somewhere around there. But that's 2025. That's why we don't see anything. Okay. I was kind of wondering there for a sec. What am I doing, bro? No, Davis, you are so dumb. You are so dumb sometimes, Davis. Why? Okay. No, I just clicked reset. So sad. So sad. I can't click a stupid button properly. I'm gonna crash out. I set my sensitivity on this thing way too high. Way too high. I turned it up because it was so painfully low. Okay, Davis, you can do it. I believe in you. July 16th. Okay. I can live in peace now. In all seriousness, though, pretty large tornado outbreak in the Chicago metro that night. See, June 29th was a lot bigger for me. How'd you feel about June 29th, Andrew? I do have a documentary video on June 29th that did horribly, which made me so sad because I spent like 2 months on it. And I also made a couple of editing mistakes that I didn't notice until after I was already out. Is there the potential for an Omaha derecho from the 16th through the 30th? I'm not even going to answer that. Oh, I guess I could answer, is there the potential? Yes. Because mid-June does look to be pretty active still for the High Plains. But I suppose if you want to listen to the 384-hour GFS fantasy runs, high pressure clears out the plains of any sort of significant severe weather threat. Did you? Okay, I didn't see it. My fault. WX Clips uploaded a couple of... I think he uploaded a clip about my dictionary fumble, so let's do it. Reacting to WX Clips. Here we go, chat. It's a different contamination. Pretty much every kind of contamination you can name. What did I just do? I just opened the Oxford Dictionary. Well, chat, I hope you guys are ready to learn about some words tonight. Word of the day. What's the word of the day, chat? In all seriousness, these are just so fun to watch because his editing style is hilarious. He just zooms in on things randomly, and it's just so good. Hail contamination. I would not be shocked to see them issue a flash flood warning again. We already do have a flash flood warning in effect for... Why do I sound like such a nerd tonight? It's I'm talking like this. Home a panhandle. Why do I keep opening the dictionary? It's not my intention. We do have a... I did it again. How am I doing that? Anyway, we do have a flash flood warning in effect for portions of the Oklahoma panhandle near just northeast of the town of Beaver. Bro, what is going on? Why do I keep opening the dictionary? I don't want to do that. By the way, this little wave was when my dad walked in to tell me goodnight. Why is it east of the town of Beaver? Bro, what is going on? Why do I keep opening the dictionary? A flash flood warning in effect for portions of... That little wave was I was saying goodnight to my dad. Shout out to Dad. It's hilarious. Let me get Chad back up. My fault. Yeah, he's talking about it again, Mr. Twister. He talked to me during supper tonight, like a few hours ago. We had ribs, and he was just like, I don't know why the ribs were important to the story, but he was like, did you send the weather community my way? I was like, not intentionally, but kind of.
It was somewhere around there, 2021, obviously, with December 10th.
This is hilarious.
Look behind me, there's somebody there. Yep. You got me. That's crazy, Mr. Twister. Oh my goodness. There's a ghost. Max is outside my window. No, this is his room, remember?
It's genuinely so sad to leave that room. I still kind of wish I was in there, bro. I'm excited to move in here, and I've wanted to have a laptop and be able to do this in my room for a long time. But it's still so sad to see the other one go, dude. Man, this will never be as classic. We had so many good memories in there. I don't know, it'll become as classic at some point. But we had tons of awesome memories in there, and we'll have tons of awesome memories in here. Summoner Media getting in on a pretty intense win bag. When is the last time we turned Severe on the coverage stream into such a chill stream on no notice? um, Summoner Media sells a pretty intense win bag with the QLCS moving through Northwest Oklahoma. A couple of detached supercells at this point. DL Scales and Garrett Thompson are in the one near Gage. Currently watching some 50 to 60 mile an hour gusts and some pea-sized hail there. If you're along Highway 15 near Gage or Shattuck, make sure that you are staying indoors and away from windows. I think Freddie ended his chase, didn't he? Yeah, both of my feeds are on Stormrunner Media now. Didn't even notice that. But, again, Kansas is done for tonight. Perhaps a couple more brief severe limit wind gusts and large hailstones in northwest Oklahoma. But outside of that, bro, we're done. We're done for the night. The OG room, bro. Should we go in the OG room for just a few minutes to reminisce? Yeah, no, I made a promise that was going to be the last time you saw me in there, and I mean it. It probably means nothing to a lot of you guys. Be honest in chat. Do you actually care about the old room? Do you have fond memories in there like I do? I don't know why I'm behind the computer now. I just kind of felt like it. Look at that. It's like magic. Here's what we could do. We don't need LEDs for the chill streams. And then people can know whether or not it's a chill stream. This is a great idea, Davis. For the chill streams, we do this, and for the severe other cover streams, we do this. I was thinking we could do Davis does games background like this, Davis does weather like this. I've had a lot of different ideas. Baca County, Colorado. What a name. Stop scratching the bottom of the computer. Is it gonna be bad? My room's bigger than your house? I don't think it is. It looks like it from this angle, but I don't think it is. I'm gonna scratch it again just to annoy Mr. Twister. It's really not as big as it looks from this angle. Like, seriously, let's see how many steps it takes for me to get... it is a big room. It is. Let's see how many steps it takes. We'll do normal size steps. What are we doing? 7 steps. 7 steps from wall to wall. How many steps is it for you guys? That's my big wall. So go from this wall to wall. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on average it's 6 steps from wall to wall. 14? What? Your room's in the basement. Davis has his custom green screen, yes sir. Yeah, my walls are green. Is that weird, chat? I was thinking about doing the angle like this, but my room looks kind of childish from this angle because it is. Levi's gonna give me special text. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm ready. Is it gonna be through Discord or not? in position like this now. I'm literally just laying in bed streaming. This is so dumb. I should not have this kind of power. Seriously, I thank God that I'm able to do this every day. I say that so much, but I really do. I just realized if we had a one more dollar donate, it would be $69.69. I'll go ahead and donate one of my own dollars, add on to the pile, so it's $69.69. John White would do it. 570 grand donation. Where's my secret text message, Levi? Secret tunnel through the Wendy's. Secret tunnel. We was gonna call with Andrew. I was not supposed to say that out loud, was I? Well, chat. We're probably gonna end off anyway. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Again, I love you guys. God bless all you guys. I mean, seriously, I can't believe... This is gonna sound so corny, but this is legitimately my dream. Just look at this. Alright, hear me out. Here's the scenario. We wake up to an overnight... Okay, hear me out. Here's an example. August 10th, 2020. We go to bed. Normal night. We wake up. There's a destructive in Iowa. That's exactly what happened on August 10th, 2020. If that happens again, your boy's right here. 692 PH, $2.69. Okay. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out.